Benigas, and this is
Phyllis.
Phyllis. And we're candidate orientation and have had just an incredible time. My favorite times are when the area leaders give stories about their experience in missions. And my most difficult moment is right now we're getting ready to meet the executive committee, and we are nervous. A wonderful, wonderful week.
It's wonderful meeting all the other candidates. I've worked with missionaries for years, and they all tell me that the missionaries, the candidates you meet at this orientation, are with you for life. You're just friends for life, and we have met some choice fellow missionaries, and we're looking forward to whatever God has for us.
We were district youth directors, very closely involved with all the things that are involved here in missions. And
with the
so
AIM
we're
trips.
AIM and Speed the Light, so we're especially sensitive to those support things, and have been involved in that for quite a while. 40 years of hanging out with teenagers and young people, and we just loved every minute of it. So now we have to preach to old people.
What brought you here today?
This is kind of
in
a
the
funny...
last year, a lot's happened. I guess.
It's a little bit of a funny story in a way. We, in 1986, were elected to be the district youth directors in Penn, Florida. At the time, there was an age limit on how long we could serve. And so we figured we would be there the maximum. If we got reelected, we'd be there for 4 years, and then we'd be missionaries. So I like to say, well, something went dreadfully wrong,
So being a missionary's always been in the mix. Okay.
We knew one day. We've been in waiting. We've been in waiting for God to say, yes, this is the time.
Okay.
So we would pray every time there was an election, because it was every 2 years. And long before the election, we'd pray, God, is this the time when we should step away and walk through this new door of missions? And never received that until just in the last couple of years. And so we knew it was time. The waiting was over.
Right.
I had the privilege of working with our missionaries for the last 22 years, helping them set up their itineration scheduling. And so I've been on that side of all of this, and now it's so unique to be one.
Yeah,
or
and
almost
now you know what a service you were offering.
Yes, it's becoming vividly clear.
Yes.
So it's been a journey waiting to get to this point, but we just have such an excitement about what God has in store. The doors He's opening are exciting us.
We had been spent lots of time in South America, and we had thought way back that if we ever go into missions, or when we go, we'll probably be in South America someplace, because we spent a lot of time in the country of Paraguay, a lot of years there, and then almost every other Latin American country we were involved in. But it's like for me, as I got older, I began to care about where I came from, my family. My ancestors, the people, how did I get where I am? And that happens. I've noticed it happens as you get older. You start thinking about that. For some it happens younger, but for me it was just in the last 5 years I just started thinking about that. Of course, all of both Phyllis and my ancestors, our grandfathers, both immigrated from Naples, Italy, and nearly the same time, and so. We found that kind of odd, or funny, and so we started thinking about it, but we've also visited a lot in Europe, and there is just such a need in the continent of Europe. It has become so secularized. It was so Christianized, and now less than 2% of people in Europe go to church.
I just read that.
And less than 1% of them really know Jesus, And so there is such a need, and that has just gripped our heart.
And I was touched with that continent in the need many years ago. One of our first years taking a team there, when a young interpreter who did not know the Lord sat down with me and said, well, who is this God person? Who is this that you came all this way, spent all this money to come talk to us about? I don't know anything about him. And that's so, I mean, in other countries we've been to around the world, you know, they had a concept of who God was. This young man was clueless, and it just did something in my heart that I've not been able to walk away from all these years. Yeah. So when God directed us in this way, it was an answer to my prayer. I want to go tell him who my God is.
We just have a feeling that God, in both the United States and Europe, because we're so close culturally, that God is getting ready to do some major renovations. We call it awakenings. But we just feel that God is up to something really major. And so the church here, we believe, is going to explode shortly. The church in Europe, I believe that God is going to put His Spirit in a special way. And so we're there actually to support pastors and churches.
God has brought us to this point in our life, for this moment, to work with these people. And so it's good to know you've followed a path and He's brought you right where He wants you to be.